Hi, Internet viewers. This is Frank Rauscher again. I'm going to show you the bird for what I have done. On the mantle itself, I did the upper half of the feather and I left the lower half lighter, okay? And I did that about 2 times. But that's about where you want to get the intensity. We may go back and do it one more time, but what we want to do is we're going to put another wash on top. Now, in the wing area here, which is below the mantle, below the mantle here, and this area in here, not these little real small ones up front. We kept that as part of like the mantle area in a sense. And all these in here got about 3 coats. And to be honest with you, I used a little bit of the heavier wash rather than the lighter one so I can get darker back here. But that's about where I want to be with that so you can see it. And what we're going to do now is we're going to put a wash across the mantle, and we'll do it a little bit into the wings as well. But let me show you, and I'm going to move the camera down, and then you can see where we're going from there, okay? Bear with me. Okay, here we go again. I put about maybe 1/4 of a pea of, let me get the color in front of you. It's burnt sienna is what it is. And I put it down somewhere, and like everything else on my area, it's trying to find it. Let's see what I have here. Well, take my word for it. It is burnt sienna, and I have the color around here somewhere. But anyway, I put that in there, and it's not raw sienna, it's burnt sienna, which is on the reddish side. And I'm going to fill this up about halfway with water, and I'm going to mix that real good. Okay. And I don't want this to come on heavy. So what I may do after I mix that much, I'm going to probably come over here and take some out, because I like to have a real watery one and something a little heavier, and I may go back to either one. It was like what we did with the raw umber. I had the first mix, and then I brought this over, which was the excess, and that was a little heavier, and I used that heavier more to get things dark in this area here. Excuse me. So let me come back here, and what I'm going to do is rinse my brush. I'm going to come into the watery side here. Oh, that's right. I said I would add a little more water. So I'm really getting this water down. This is, if I dab it on a paper towel, you could see it's like, it's on a reddish side, but it's very watered down. So what I'm going to do in the mantle area here, I'm going to come across with that over the mantle, okay? And again, it's the real watery down one. And I'm just doing the mantle area here. And I want to dry that real quick. So I'll come in. I'll just dry that pretty good. make sure it's dry, because you don't want to start painting over wet areas. And having a hair dryer really helps accelerate the painting, because you can put one coat after another and not worry about the paint being picked up. So I'm back to the watery one again. I'm going to come in again on the mantle area over to these guys over here. Hope I'm getting this on the camera, as I tend to drift. And I'm just doing that area. Now, I'm also going to carry a little bit of that color on when I did the second coat here, down into here, which is your wing area and your tail coverts and so on. Now, okay, and then I'm going to dry this. To expedite things, I'm going to let that dry a little bit, but I'm going to now hold the bird on the head and in the breast, and I do want to get the tail done. So I'm going to come back and get some of the raw umber I used before, and I'm going to paint the tail now that I can hold the head and get that coated. And I want to do the tail again, at least 3 coats, and then a little bit of the watered down burnt sienna. Okay, so make sure you get the ends too, right here, and don't forget, get a thinner brush and get in under the wing here too. You don't want to miss that. And along the edge on the underneath side here as well. Okay, so you got it all covered. Now, while we're at this, I'm going to rinse my brush. I'm going to get a little bit of the watery one, and I'm going to ask you, ooh, too much. I'm going to just ask you to coat this like this, just once. Okay. And get just that ghosting of brown in there. Make sure you get the edges too. And then dry this. Now, I'm going to ask you on this video to do one more thing. I'm going to ask you to do this 3 times so it gets to the intensity of this in here, okay, which is your wing area. Then I'm going to ask you to go back with the smaller brush and then come in and do the upper part. This is after you dry this, because it's easier. You could rest in here and come in, and I'm going to ask you to just on the upper part of this feather, let me try some of the heavier stuff right there and there, and do all of the mantle on the upper side here. Let me see if I can pop it a little bit. You can see it's dark on that upper edge, and I'm going to ask you to go in and do that. Charge your brush up again and do just the upper half, just a little bit of it like that, and that'll make that pop. Okay, so if you would do that, and then on the next video we'll proceed on. But Again, you're giving it 3 coats on top, 1 on the bottom, okay? And if it comes up that light, I would go 1 more, but it's not nowhere going to be as dark as this. It's going to be up like this, okay? So give that maybe 1 more coat, but lightly, watered down one. This one should look like this area in here, and then again, I want you to come in and just touch the upper half of all these feathers in the mantle area here, okay? And I'll see you on the next video, and we will proceed on, and that will really get us where we got to go. I think we're getting closer and closer, and I will show you the rest of it, okay? So if you enjoyed this and you got something out of it, I would wish you would give me a thumbs up, and if you could subscribe to my channel, I'd appreciate that as well. And we will get this bird flying here soon. Thanks a lot. I'll see you on the next video.